The art of The Legend of Zelda from Nintendo, a franchise known for its wide array of styles and designs. Today we're going to look at the official character designs, concept art and illustrations of Breath of the Wild and old school classics such as Oracle of Ages and Seasons. Zelda Breath of the Wild brought back the traditional exploration with unsequenced dungeons and thus refined the open world experience to a whole new level. The story starts with Link waking up after a mysterious voice calling out for him. He soon meets an old man who explains that Hyrule was conquered 100 years ago by roaming artifacts that were controlled by a great evil. During his journey, Link travels on steep cliffs, mountains, navigates through cold weather, vast plains and forests. Moreover, he explores the divine beasts, machines that are controlled by the spirits of the champions. Furthermore, there are shrines spread all over the land that give Link words of wisdom, new tools and endurance. He slowly gets his memory back, feels the need to rescue Zelda and learns that he has to confront Ganondorf, a calamity that's vested over the kingdom, if he wants to restore peace to the lands of Hyrule. The art style has this painted look to it that doesn't contain any black outlines. This is achieved by shifting hues for the tones and the shadows, which creates strong discrepancies in highlight, forming our own interpretation of what's going on. To clarify, when we look at the white eye color, we might think it's milk white, but it's more yellowish eggshell than anything else. However, when separated, you see the hue tone differs from what you initially thought. This seemingly altered perception is called simultaneous contrast and the art teams are masters of it. Most artists have either a preference of drawing from the perspective of the outline or paint from volume. The art used here is clearly from the latter. When we look at the concept art, Link is drawn in different styles. Although multiple artists were testing out the waters with their creative designs, it was decided beforehand to go for an open world with a neutral hero that can be personalized by the player. The choice of using a blue tunic instead of green was considered a coincidence. While the team knew early on that Link would be right-handed, in some of his earlier concept art he was drawn as a lefty. In another piece his arm could use different abilities, a concept we see in Breath of the Wild 2 as well. Another idea had the Zeldavania in mind. Heck, they even tried to make Link a guitar hero motorcyclist. Glad they didn't, to be honest. Similar to Link, Zelda also had multiple makeovers. I think it's cool to see that they were exploring many different angles and archetypes, such as explorer to contained princess. You never know, maybe we will see Zelda as the main character saving Link. Calamity Ganon was designed with hatred in mind, a spirit body that manifested and wrapped around the castle. This design doesn't have many alterations in his main and alternative boss avatars. One thing that made this game stand out so well is the open world which you as Link have to explore, with mysteries and unique events in all angles. Interestingly, the bright color palette of the environmental art was inspired by outdoor landscape paintings, also known as gouache and plein air art. The art designers created a coherent world with many different creatures that all fit in. Next to the uniform style, the inhabitants all have tribe-like attributes that give them a common theme. Although not fair to compare, I think they did a better integration of the recurrent races such as Zoran and Gerudo than in other installments. Both Oracle of Ages and Seasons were well received games and linked to each other with a password system. The story begins with Link riding on his horse and spying a castle in the distance. The moment he goes in, the Triforce relocates him to help the innocent in need. In Seasons he has to stop General Onox. He's the one that captures Din, the Oracle of Seasons. This deregulates the land into an erratic state, and thus Link needs to collect the 8 essence of nature to penetrate the fortress of the evildoer. In the other story, Link has to protect the Oracle of Ages, who became possessed by an evil sorceress. She uses this new power to travel through time and space and change the land. Link has to traverse between the ages to obtain the essence of time. The color palette has a gentle saturation and uses 2 to 3 colors to distinguish between highlights and shadows. Moreover, the outline is dark brown, with its thickness equally distributed among the body. The contrast between the highlights is direct, so there is no transition. This coloring style is popular in anime, because it's clear and crisp. The designs of Link is actually from his original roots, the Adventures of Link. Besides that he standardized his outfit, in my eyes Link looked quite pissed off back then. That said, Oracle of Seasons and Ages has a style that appeals to young and old. Nothing too special, and between the spectrum of the cartoonist Wind Waker and realistic Twilight Princess, so to say. The Zelda franchise has many mangas and are drawn by Akira Himekawa, which is a pen name from a collaboration between two women. They always manage to portray Link in a cool way when it counts. Plus, the duo is excellent at adapting to new styles that have a well-defined resemblance of the original art. Although I only read the Ocarina of Time manga for a bit, from what I can tell, they kept the quality top notch for these ones as well. I'm fancy light novel author GP first. And honestly, I had a hard time playing Breath of the Wild at first. Starting with high anticipation, the tutorial section felt too forced, so I just stopped. But a friend of mine insisted to give it another try, and boy was I glad that I did. When the world finally opened up, this game became a memory never to forget. If you want to see more Zelda or other awesome game art, you know where to find me.